Busted, obviously come back into training this week off the back of a win on Tuesday against Curzon, going into Brackley on Saturday now. How are the lads recovering and getting ready for the weekend now?
Yeah, good. Obviously, it was a tough 90 minutes for us. It was a good battling performance. Showed a lot of character to get the win on not our best performance. But yeah, lads have come back in today. For the majority of the lads who played a full 90, it was just more of a recovery day for them, just getting them moving again. And then we've done some work with the players who weren't involved, done a little bit more with them. But yeah, everyone's in good spirits, obviously we're under no illusion. We know we needed the win, and we got it. So it's good spirits today, and then just making sure everyone's ready for a good training session tomorrow, and then back at it again Saturday. So we're looking forward to it.
And I'd say obviously everyone's in high spirits today off the back of the win, on the back of a few sort of tough results to take, especially narrow ones. How much of a shift have you kind of seen in the attitude from the lads, or has it always been a positive atmosphere despite the results before that?
No, the attitude's always been brilliant, to be fair. The performances have been good. We've done a lot of work over the summer on how we want the lads to play and try and dominate the ball and keep the ball. And we've done that really well in games, and we haven't just had that final finishing touch on it to get the result. And then ultimately the games have went against us like file. The boys curled on the top corner, sort of last few minutes, and then Farsi last week, we kind of brought that on ourselves. But again, it's a great finish from the boy, and that's just football. Sometimes it doesn't go for you, but we're not disillusioned or anything like that. There's been no negativity coming within, we're all positive and we're all stick together because we know what we've got in the group, and we're all help each other out, and that's our strength really, the fact that we'll all stick together, and we're all very positive people, and all we want to do is do well for the club, so that's what we will continue to do.
Of course, Brackley coming up this Saturday again here at the stadium. They're always a team who are up in and around the playoffs, challenging. How tough a game you're expecting from them? They've been on a strong run of form recently as well, of course.
Yeah, it's always a tough game against Brackley. They're a very good side. They're on a good run of form. They'll be coming here full of confidence. Even when they're not in a good run of form, Brackley's always a hard game, whether it's home or away. But it's about what we do. It's about us. We'll have our game plan. We'll try and keep playing the way we do, play with that high intensity. We'll try and move the ball quickly, and then we'll be looking to get the 3 points, because we know that we have to kick on, we have to put points on the board and get up there. But we'll keep working on what we have been. We all trust the process and what we're trying to do, and that's what we'll stick with. And as I say, it's going to be a really hard game, but sometimes them is the best ones to come, against the good sides who are on a good run of form, because we know the lads are going to get themselves up for it, and we'll be putting in a performance.
And the full squad was put to use on Tuesday. Of course, Jordan Cook came on at half time, managed to get himself a goal, which proved to be the winner in the end. There's a few other lads who might be short on match fitness, but they're sort of back in and around training. How cautious do you have to be with those players? Of course, Mike mentioned about Cookie that you can't necessarily just throw him in when he hasn't really played for quite a while.
Yeah, it's massively important. Obviously, looking from the outside in, it's why are these people not starting? Why is he not starting? But we see what goes on during training, during the week, and obviously with Cookie, he hasn't played for that long. When he came in and he signed, we had a discussion with him, and it was an agreement between all of us that we needed to sort of integrate him into the games. If we just flung him in, it was a risk that he might break down, he might get injured. So it's not what we want. We need Cookie for the full season. We're not just going to start him for a one-off game, because we need to win the game. We have to look after players, because it's a long season, and we have to make sure that they're fit for as much of that season as possible. And Cookie's a massive example of that. Other lads who aren't getting in the squad, or haven't been in the squad, or they've been on the bench, it's just about how they react, and that's the same with everything. We're looking for a positive reaction from them. It's the worst thing in the world for them when you're told you're not in the squad, or you're told you're on the bench when you've been playing, and we totally understand that. And it's hard. We had this conversation last week. It's hard to try and always keep lads positive if they're not getting in squads and stuff like that, but it's purely based on the reaction. If they're not getting in squad, they have to come in and work harder in training, and sort of make Mike's mind up for him, really, which, to be fair, the lads have come in and they have worked hard in training, and it's up to Mike and myself to try and pick the best team to win the game.
And does having all of those options sort of right across the board in the squad potentially make you a bit more difficult to predict for teams coming here, or teams that are hosting you when you're going away, because there's a few different ways you can set up and a few different options that you can use in those setups?
Yeah, definitely 100%. Obviously, with the personnel that we have to pick from, teams will obviously look at our full squad, and they'll have game plans for different type of players playing. So yeah, it's definitely a strength of ours. We change the formation sometimes as well, so that sort of keeps other teams guessing as well. But predominantly, it is what it is. We'll look to pick the best team to win the game, and we won't come away from what we're trying to do, which is high intensity football and moving the ball as quick as we can, and then finishing our chances off in the final third. And once we do that and we get in our rhythm, we really believe that we'll have a really good season and we'll push on.
And towards the back end of the pitch, obviously in recent games, you have Nathan Dale, who's slotted into the back three. Alex Nicholson, of course, has been playing centrally rather than a fullback as he had been last season. How impressed have you been with the back three, even though results haven't necessarily been going your way, but it's not been for a lack of sort of effort or performance defensively, really?
Yeah, we've been solid at the back, to be honest. Nick has been brilliant. As he was last season as well. He's come in there, obviously he was playing more on the right side last season, but he's come in the centre there, and his organisation skills have come on so much in the last year. Alex is obviously a player that I've known for years, and he's always had the technical ability and everything like that, but over the last year and a half, his athleticism, his leadership, his ability to coordinate from the back has just come on so much, and you're starting to see like a player who's potentially got the lot really at the minute. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't sleep on that, and he keeps pushing himself. And Coops, he come in from last season as well, and Coops has been brilliant, and him and Alex are starting to get the communication between each other. Coops is solid, wins his headers, he's good on the ball as well, and he's got a really good career ahead of him as well. And just to touch on Nathan's came in the team after being injured and then just doing his rehab and coming back in, and he slotted straight in there. He's performed really well the last two games. It's really good for us that he's a left-sider when we play back three. Having a left-sided player there means he can open out and play to our left wing back as well. So it gives us different options. But yeah, Nathan's been brilliant, but all three of them have been really good.
And just in terms of the injury sort of situation going into Saturday, is it a clean bill of health, or is there any injuries to report ahead of that one?
Dan is struggling with his groin, Dan Ward, so he won't be available. Forbes, he was still trying to get up to fitness. He struggled the last sort of month or so really with his injury, so we're still trying to get him up to scratch. Mike's not ready to come back in yet. Kuki, obviously, again, it's same. He hasn't played much football since January, so we have to be really, really careful with him. He's fully aware of that and fully on board with that as well. But other than that, everyone's in good health, and everyone's really wants to be part of the squad and part of the starting 11, which is difficult again for Mike and myself to pick a squad and tell lads that they're not going to be involved, because as I said earlier, when you tell a lad that they're not involved in the squad, it's like the end of the world for them, and I've been there, and it is tough, but as I say, we just look for that reaction to come into training and just be the best trainer.